All right, man, we in here. It's the Mr. Peter Parker podcast. Got the guy with me.
Peace, peace. What up?
Okay, episode number 15. We're going to be joined today by the hardcore composer, my man Dom Dirtee. Also, we're talking a little NBA playoffs. We back outside. I think I pulled something in my back. We're talking about it coming up. I think Dom about to check in. I told you he was going to be in here this afternoon. Round of applause in the studio. Right, Dom Dirtee, what's happening?
What up, Dom?
What's cracking, man? Thanks for having me.
The hardcore composer. What's up, dog? How are you?
Doing wonderful, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I was telling you off the thing that it was the playlist that really grabbed me to do this today. You put up this YouTube playlist. Now, look, you're like this really cool producer, artist, New York stuff. You put out this album, but like you touched a nerve with me with this 98 like YouTube playlist, which I thought was like, in my instinct is to like do a mixtape, right? Like it's to get the songs and to blend them, but like it's so like modern just to put like this YouTube playlist together of these songs, right? And like when I saw like Rashid and Ill-Advised 1986. And I was like, I know I have that vinyl. Me and Tito played that on our radio show.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm like, all right. I'm like, we got to get this guy on the horn. This is my guy over here.
The Eminem freestyles did it for me, bro. That because I had all those on one CD. I don't know where I got
from
it
Napster.
From, like,
G, it was from Napster.
Everybody wanted to fight me for it, but like, yo, it was those freestyles were like.
And years later, I reached out to Tito and got those on the CD and made an Eminem mixtape called the E-Talks or some shit that I did and went crazy with these Napster freestyles and shit. So, but what inspired, like, I mean, overall to put that out? Talk about the playlist before we get into the other stuff.
The playlist, well, so basically, I'm from Connecticut. I was born and raised in Waterbury, Connecticut. And I'd been to New York like a bunch of times. And I have an older cousin who, moved to New York. She's like 7 years older than me. She moved to New York like long ahead of me. And so I used to be like, yo, let me, come hang out down there. And then that summer was the first summer, like I had been to New York a few times, but she let me like live with her for the summer. So I was like, okay, cool. Like now I'm in the mix. Cause I was like,
city,
I've been a hip hop junkie since I was like 10 years old, but like to be like in New York for a long period of time, I was like, I felt like I was like really like immersed in it. And I was like stretching Bob, Future Flavors, like that was the most important thing to me, like above anything, even finding like a job. I was like, Sunday night, I gotta have some blank tapes and I'm taping
record. That's us. That's us. Yeah.
I would sit there and just like stare at the stereo and just like listen to all this new stuff. And like that summer it was just like all that new music that was coming out. It was it was like Nori's first album, Cannabis was just coming out, Pun was just coming out. You know what I mean?
Yes, it could be the best summer of hip hop, and going into that fall and like Tribe and Jay and everybody dropping in September and October. I mean, dude, it was
a good stretch. It was a good stretch. It was a good stretch of 4
97 to 98, 97, even 95,
95. Come on, man.
Yes,
it was a moment, and I had all those tapes. I have them right over here, and I digitized a bunch of them. But like some of them, I didn't even know like what the names were. And then the other day, I just like I was like just Googling, and I found like a playlist from like a Stretch and Bob show from that summer, and it had like all the names. I was like, oh, like Wildcat Dynasty, like these random, like they're mad obscure, but they struck a chord. Like I still can hear them, they just came out. So I did this deep dive and like looked up everything, tried to find these playlists. And I just like was like, let me make a playlist and add it. And I was like, why don't I share this with everybody? Because it represents, a moment in time for me. And I think that, it's just valuable to any hip hop fan that like wants to know what it was like to be in the mix around that time.
Right. Tito was going to New York heavy. He had a girlfriend at the time whose family was living in New York. And we used to take trips down and go shopping and shit like that and like go and like record flex. I'm with you though. Recently, because there've been so much new Stretch and Bobbito content, right? So like they got the new Apple show and it's absolutely fire. But I went back as like you and I wanted to listen to some of those older shows. And I consider myself like a super head. Like I'm like a P1. Bro, I probably knew 3 songs in an hour. It was like shit I had never heard before. and me and Tito know all those white labels in my aunt's basement never got put on the DSPs. They're not available anywhere.
Right.
It's a moment in time that hasn't been digitized. You know what I mean? Like
and I couldn't, I was like, I can't find these on Spotify. And it was like, you know, I'm not a DJ. Like, I know how to use Serato, but I was like, I'm not gonna like blend this or like have somebody else do it. I was like, I know YouTube's got all this stuff, so let me just like find them on there. Unfortunately, I found like everything. So
nailed it, bro.
Yeah, man.
No,
very cool. Very cool. Kudos to you.
Definitely.
Yo, you have this great album out on Duck Down. Legendary label. Yeah, come on, bro. The best. And overall, like a really good listen. I was bumping it. Tito was bumping it earlier. How did the situation with Duck Down happen? Talk about this little collab, man.
Duck Down happened. I mean, I've been doing artwork for my boy Static Selector for mad years now. And, you know, he put out a bunch of albums through then. So from just, you know, doing artwork for him, I've been dealing with Juha, Noah, and James over there for years. And then when I started recording the project and I talked to Fame, I asked him if he would, you know, be down to do a verse for you. And I was like, you know, I could do artwork, you know, I could do a cover for you if you want. He was like, all right, no doubt. And then he was like, I actually need to do this Price of Fame cover. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll do that. So, you know, I was working with them on that, and it just kind of like strengthened, you know, they just kind of like got, I don't know, used to dealing with me. But aside from that, it was really just from me doing artwork. But they like, you know, they kind of knew who I was. But then, you know, when I was I had finished the album and I was just going to put it out myself. And then, you know, I just posted the cover. So I was like, I'm just doing this, let's go. And then I had a friend of mine who runs a record label. He gave me a distribution deal, like a digital distribution deal, like off the bat for me. He's like, I'd love to put it out. I was like, okay, dope. And then I was like, oh, you know, maybe I should just like, you know, just run it by Duck Down and see like if they'd be interested. And totally thinking they wouldn't be, but I hit my James over there and he was like, oh, that's amazing news. Like send me track list and some snippets and stuff. And I threw it all in an email. I was like, yo, I'm trying to put this out like in like 2 weeks. He's like, give me like a couple of days to run it by them. And he came back and was like, yo, we want to put it out. And I was like, word?
Amazing.
I gotta do it. Because, you know, growing up, like Duck Down, boot camp, all that, like it's mind blowing to put an album out with them.
Yeah, the credibility and the foundation of your career as a producer, I think, is really solidified. Not just sonically, it's great, but if you put it independently, but when you put it out with the stamp, it's like it's magic. It's magic. Recently, the video with Millie's and Paul Wall.
Yeah, man.
The edits are crazy, man.
Thank you. Actually, I edited that whole video myself, and then I gave it to a VFX kid that he did all like the
sliding,
and stuff. Yeah, man. So
it's super
third video off the project. So
really cool. No, we love it, man. Like the No Celebs thing. That's my favorite song on the whole project. And I think, is Nems really that guy all the time?
You know, he is, but you know, he's the nice guy to me. You know what I mean?
Are you gonna say no?
That's cool. No, of course not. No, he's a really nice guy. No, I feel like he is.
You're like, he gave me like an FYL pin the other day, and I was like, hey, thanks a lot, man. He's like, yeah, no problem. Fuck your life. Like he's he's still on that, even though, you know, I'm not.
He's cool though. He's cool.
Not like a monster or nothing like that, but
yeah. No, that video is great. I think, and we see with this new wave of like underground producers and this new music that's coming out, there's new little stars, people like UFO Feeve, who I think is tremendous, who popped out of nowhere, really coming through the show off camp and up with you guys. And he's a real, he shines on that No Celebs record big time.
Absolutely.
I want to go through the list of the artists on the album. Okay. And I want you to give
a lot of Boston guys.
A lot of New England guys. We feel that. I'm from Boston. He's from Worcester. We're like from that area. You know what I mean? New England.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to give you a name and you give me one word to describe the artist.
Okay.
You've been in the studio with these guys. You know these dudes, hopefully. I feel like you have relationships with all these people, right? So let's just start from the top. Lil Fame.
Lil Fame. God MC. I know that's 2 words,
but that's it.
Like, that's a phrase. You know,
phrase. We'll go with a phrase.
Phrase is cool. Phrase work over. It's fine. We're flying off the.
I was extremely honored to have him on the project. I mean, he's been one of my favorite rappers.
His voice is like.
Dog, I have How About Some Hardcore on cassette. I have To the Death when it like the Tuesday it came out. So like, you know, that was like a full circle moment for me.
It's amazing, dude. MOP affiliate Teflon.
Killer, man. He just comes in and just, you know, he does what he does. You gotta he got one of the illest voices of all time. If you ask me, like,
dope, bro.
you know, he's been low key, but when you hear him on a track, it just like it cuts through the track. Like you can't. That's not something you can like train. Somebody either got it, you either got it or you don't. And when you hear his voice on a track, you're like, damn, like there's something about it that just
sounds like it's supposed to be there. Like I saw Elzai from Slum Village one time. I'm like, oh, you were born to rap. Like this is for you. Like like
some people just like got it, and Teflon definitely one of them.
Yeah, man. Yo, my man, New England legend, Lawrence Mass's own Terminology.
I say prolific. Term got like album 42 about to drop, and
he worked so hard, man. He's so hard.
Between he just did the Good Dad Gang collabo with Gangstar, and actually I did a little like logo mashup for that.
Okay, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, but term like, you know, you said there's a lot of like mass MCs on my project. Like Term, he's credited as the A&R on the project. He helped me jump off my album. And he helped facilitate, get a number of people on there. Like, he probably got like 40% of the artists on the album. I got like 40%. Static helped out with Paul Wall.
Yes.
But, you know, Term has always got his hand in something. And as far as just, you know, even writing rhymes, just like still right now, he's probably writing a rhyme right now.
Right now, in this moment, right now. I remember hearing this crazy story. I know it's not true, but I feel like it is. Someone told me that like Term back in the day, I remember being with him and like I had the session with Dylon that I booked from making the band, and Boston artists were coming down and paying him for features. And Term got a feature and they banged it out in like 40 minutes. And then later on that night at like 4 o'clock in the morning, Term was in this hotel room by the radiator, just rapping. And Dylon, remember Dylon being like, yo, and this is Dylon. You know what I mean? He's like, I didn't even know you could really spit like this. And I remember walking out of the room like, this dude Term's gonna make it. Like he's not going to stop this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
Term's a rhyme animal.
He really is. Yo, shout to UFO Feeve, new guy, man. One word.
One word for Feeve, I'd say just like intelligent. Like he when you listen to his bars, like he weaves like the intelligence into it. You know, he got a, you know, street flavor to it, but there's a lot of like
vocab.
There's a lot of jewels in the bars. So
okay. Nems.
Nems. Gorilla is like the only thing that's coming to mind, but it works.
Dope.
It works, you know, whether you're thinking about him as his stature or him rhyming, like he's a gorilla.
He's an animal, bro. One of the most slept on guys ever, my man Superstar Snuck.
Oh man, beast. I had a lot of people like be like, yo, that Snuck record is like my favorite record on. It's like a sleeper joint. Like I think he's somebody that you know, people who don't know who he is when they heard it didn't know what to expect. And when you hear his technical ability, you're just like, oh damn, this kid is like can rap like fast and
whatever,
and is very clear. You know, technically is just very, very on point. So yeah.
When I first started hosting rap shows in Boston, me and Leeds used to throw all these shows, and I was the host. And part of my routine, if I saw Snuck, I would bring him on stage like a novelty act and be like, hey, everybody, watch this. And he would do the Bone Thugs flow, and everybody would be like, oh. And I'd be like, round of applause, Superstar Snuck. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, because you're not expecting that. You know, if you just saw him, you'd be like,
no, he's like a regular with a beer. He's like a white boy with it. You know what I mean? He's cool. Like, very cool dude, man.
Yeah. No, he killed that, though.
What's up with Fabian, man? Who is this guy? I don't know this dude.
Fabian, man, you know, it's funny. I met Fabian. He was down in Miami with us, with me, Term, and Static for Art Basel, and I thought he was like Term's boy. He's like, "Yo, my man Fabian." I was like, "Hey, what's up?" We were just like hanging out, and then I didn't even know he rapped. And then he, you know, over the course of the night, it came out. He's like, Term's like, "No, this dude right here, this dude's crazy with it." I was like, "Okay, if Term is saying that, then you know, he's not gonna say that about somebody who's not that nice." And then I, you know, as time progressed, I seen like, you know, he did some like live stuff at a Monster event that we were at, and I was like, okay, he can rap. And I started seeing like more stuff he was putting out, and I was like, oh, he's like official. So when I, you know, I was like, let me try to get him on the project, and he did his thing.
Yeah,
So
I think when you're putting like something like this together, you know, you want to get some good names on it so people are recognizing what it is. But if you really want to make the thing listenable front to back, so getting guys like him who may be sleepers but are fucking dope, you
Yeah.
know, is a win,
yeah,
dude. It's a win, man. And
yeah,
him and
absolutely.
Easy
Because
Money
I
got good.
felt
Good.
well, right, yeah, right. Because him and Easy Money got the album Beyond Easy that's out right
Right.
now. That's got a lot of bangers on it, and you know they were in the process of making that. But you know, I hit Fabian originally. I hit it. He was the first person on the record, and it made sense to put Easy Money. That's Easy Money, my man too.
Right, great.
And but you know, I was like, you know, Fabian, like I just trusted from what I saw. I was just like, oh, he's gonna body this. So
Yeah.
I was excited to have some, you know, young energy on the project too, because you know I got people that I've been, you know, I've known for years, but I was excited to have like somebody new that maybe not everybody had heard about, but I knew they would.
That's what I really liked about it, man. Like the young rappers, because you know you can see all these kids, these young kids, they immediately want to go do drill music and really want to go do all this stuff, and it's like it's refreshing to see kids rap still. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's rare when you see a younger kid like really, you know, that's been inspired by the greats that we were inspired by, and it's reflective in the rhyme. So yeah,
you can tell.
I felt the same way.
Yeah, it's cool. You want to like honor those kids and help them and mentor them and stuff. There's a guy in Minneapolis named Juice Lord that I'm like, dog, I want to help Malik in any way that I can because he loved Nas and AZ and this stuff, and his little style reflects that, and you want to champion.
You want to foster that, and be like, oh yeah, let me help you.
Go. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got him a Static beat, and we're working on a record right now. And you're like, okay, and just to see the hunger in a young guy, and doing it right. You know what I mean? So, all right, here we go. Another one that I like. We talked about Easy Money, Beast, Anoid. What we're talking about this guy? Yeah, Anoid. Yeah.
Annoyed. Oh man, he's crazy. He's from Connecticut too. I'm from Connecticut, so he's from Connecticut too. And you know, I had done the artwork for him in Static's album and a bunch of single artwork for him, and so I'd been privy to what they were working on. And I was, oh man, this kid is nice. And I was like, oh, it'd be dope if, you know, we're both from Connecticut, that just link, not even to make it about that, but just, you know, it's just rare to find heads from Connecticut that are like really doing this, like on this level. So, you know, he came through and bodied it. And, you know, he was on Flex. He did like I don't know if you saw, but he did like a really long freestyle on Flex and killed that. So
I like that he's hard to connect with. Like a lot of people I can just hit and DM real easy, but Annoyed is difficult to connect with, and I like that. I feel like he's writing, he's crafting the dopest bars, and he feels like he's the greatest of all time, and I like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
good, because growing up, I mean, you know, like it's summer '98. I mean, the internet existed, but like rappers weren't accessible.
Nobody was accessible, man.
Nobody was accessible. I mean, to me, that's one of the, you know, it's a plus and a minus of the modern era, is that everybody's accessible. And it's like, oh, you can connect with somebody, maybe something magical will happen as a result of having that access. But then sometimes, like, you don't want to, like, imagine you could like DM Ice Cube in like, you know, 91 or something like that.
He would have nothing
like,
good to say to me at all. Like, even in person, I've interviewed him twice, and he looked at me like, he's like tough, you know what I mean? Yo, Cube is great.
You were like happy to like have those guys kind of like off in their own land, and you're like, they're over there like making this magic,
observing
and I'm not,
them,
observing it. Yeah. Now it's like everybody's a DM away, and it's good in some cases, but it takes a little bit of the magic away.
No, I feel like I love the magic of '98, and I love that era and that essence of the mixtapes and the clue tapes and what Flex was doing, and just how the energy of New York was really on top, and the characters. Like when I look at this group that you put together, there is a group of characters, but I also feel, and this is like, you know, I'm not criticizing, but in the new kind of Griselda world that we live in, there is a little bit of a bar where it kind of gets a little bit sleepy, and some of the stuff is a little bit like, okay, I heard these bars, but it's not that great. You know what I mean? To me, I'm a Cuban Links guy. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot to impress me. But you really put together a good group of characters. Yo, Millies.
Thank you.
A word for Millies. He's somebody special. He's special.
Man, how would I describe Millies in one word?
Crazy.
I mean, I'm using the same kind of words, like monster, because all these dudes are like, they're lyrical, but they're more than just lyrical. They like Millies has, you know, like for the Paul Wall record, like I had Paul Wall on it first, and I was just like, you know, who would be
Yes.
be right on this record, because to me as a producer, I'm really about like getting the right like sounding things to the artist and the right
yes
like the right collaboration. It's about like making sense to me more than just like, oh, I made a beat, like I'm a beat maker, somebody rapped on it, cool. Like I'm excited to have people rapping on my music, but you know, I'm really like trying to flex as like a producer. So I was like, you know, I could get somebody who, I can't just get somebody who's just like lyrical miracle on it, you know what I mean? So I was like, who would be perfect for this? And I was like, Millie's.
Perfect.
Because and people were like, oh, I see you trying to do like the white rapper thing. I was like, nah, it ain't even about that. It was just like Paul Wall got this frequency.
Yeah.
And I was like, who matches this frequency? And I was like, Millie's will match this and also like bring a super lyrical element to it, you know, because like, you know, he makes some you know, not drill. He makes like some, you know, it's like
hardcore shit, yeah.
But it's he has some music that's trap sounding, so and he has some success with that. But like Millie's is a lyricist, you know what I mean? So he's one of those dudes that I'm like, I like him because he got a little bit more of a broad appeal in a certain way, but like he's also, you know, like Feeve, like he's inserting intelligence and some jewels into the lines too.
And trendy words. He's like, they're lit. They're like, Millie's is lit. So he has like, he knows what the little cool things to say. I'm very impressed with the longevity of Millie's and where he's going. The thing he just did with Dave East is fire.
Yeah,
so
no,
cool.
He's killing it too. It's funny because I met Millie's like probably, I don't know, like 9 years ago. We do it Statics, and he was just like, oh, this kid, you know, he's the rapper from Cambridge. They're like, all right, cool,
Relentless
basketball.
Kid. Yeah.
And then, you know, over time you see him, you know, his stock, you know, keeps rising, and now he's been having a lot, and it's amazing.
It was sitting courtside with Jada. I mean, that's
the
pretty
beers
dope.
dumped on him.
Like,
yeah. You know who fell on him too? It was Rodney Hood, and they said, and then they had a line like he still like can't get away from the hood sometimes, and Rodney Hood fell on him with the beers and shit like that. It was great. Yeah. Nah, that Millie's and
it's funny too about the Millie's thing is like the. No, I was saying like when I thought to like get Millie's on the record, I was like, you know, if I see him, you know, I feel like I didn't even have his number at the time. I was like, if I see him, I gotta like ask him about it. And I saw him he was at the Price of Fame release party. So Millie's is like he's a hip hop head. He's you know, he's up on the new, you know, styles and lingo and all that, but like he's a super hip hop head. So that's where I approached him about doing the record. So
that's cool.
He's a hip hop head regardless of the, you know, popularity.
Oh, the tattoos and the crazy shit, the stunts that he does. Like, you're right. And I think he got better and better and better as a rapper over time. He was always good. He was good, could rap, but he just got great in the last 4 years.
He's killing it. Yeah, his stock is continually going up.
Are you going to work on a part 2 of this? Are you working on another one?
Yeah, it's already in motion. I got a record with Term, and I don't want to say anything else about the other ones because I gotta keep them in the stash, and I don't want to. I gotta save up a little.
Don't give up your shit. Don't give up your shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't do it. I feel you.
That's cool.
I feel like I can't give hints. So I can't give hints without giving it away.
All right.
You know, I got some. Put it this way. Oh, okay, I got a legendary group on it.
Okay.
So and I'm working on something with them as well. But like, you know, as a hip hop fan.
Duck Down affiliates?
Big on. They're not Duck Down affiliates.
Good work, Tito. Good work, Tito.
I can give you that. They're not Duck Down affiliates, but like, as a hip hop fan, I'm against giving away the whole thing before it drops. You know what I mean? Like with my album, I kind of did that almost in secrecy. Like Term knew I was doing it. Static, you know, knew I was doing it.
It just dropped. It came out of nowhere.
It just dropped because I was just like, you know, especially as a new person too, people would be like, I thought maybe people were going to front a little bit too, because you know, a lot of people just knew me for doing artwork. But I was like, let me just wait till I got this like wrapped up with a bow, and then just like hit him with it. Because you know, even back in the day, like I was thinking about this the other day, we were talking about mass appeal of the record. It was like you've heard about that single drop, like, you know, a couple weeks before the album came out, and you're like, oh shit, new Gangsta album, like, and it gave you a more of a reason to be excited. Like you're like, oh, 14, I'm gonna get 14 new tracks that I never heard of. And nowadays, like people are like, oh, we dropped 12 of the records already on mixtapes, and
Nope.
You get the
Yeah, I hate
4
that
new
shit.
ones,
too.
and
Yeah,
I'm not
I hate
with
that.
that.
I feel like make it shorter and put it all out at once. Don't do 20. If you do 20 songs, like I was talking to RJ Payne recently, he was saying some of his stuff in the middle, some great records on these bigger projects is getting forgotten about or haven't been discovered because of the way people stream. So I feel like you did
Yeah.
it right. When you sampled on this, when you made these beats, I don't feel like it's sampling. I feel like it's like instruments and sounds, but it sounds like samples. It sounds like golden era shit. Like what did you do?
There's no samples. I sampled the drums because I feel like, even though I will, like, occasionally use like 808s and things like that, but I feel like as far as the sound I'm trying to achieve, I need some like real gritty drums. Like, to me, that's kind of like the essence, like the wave right now is not even to use drums, but I was like,
no, your drums
even though this stuff, thank you. I was like, even though this stuff is like, a lot of the popular, quote unquote underground stuff right now, it's like lower tempo, no drums. I was like, I'm doing upper tempo stuff and I'm doing drum centric beats, because to me, like, that's, if it don't resonate with me, I shouldn't even be making it. But
right.
I started, they all have sampled drums, but every note on my album is played by me. Like, I just made it up. Like, I used to sample all the time, and I started, toying with making original music because, I was like, sometimes you just like don't find the samples that you want. And I'm like, you know what, like, let me try my hand in this. And then me and my man Illa G put out an EP like 9 years ago, and it was like half sampled, half not. And all the singles and videos that we did were records that I, made the beats from scratch. So I was like, oh, these got a good response. So if people are messing with this, like, let me do this moving forward. And it gives me a way to be original, because originality is really important for me too, especially in, I feel like that's like a forgotten, like, lost thing in hip hop now, is like, everyone's trying to be like everybody else. But I'm like, let me try to do my own thing.
No, I get
have
it.
my own sound and be progressive with it, even though, all my favorite stuff from the 90s and even the late 80s is all sample driven. But I was like, this is a way for me to, there's a way for me to be original and creative and just be progressive and do something brand new. Because, like, records and Kill Switch, like, I just like formulated those, like, I don't even know from where. I just kind of like made them, and I think that's I don't know, I'm proud of those records for those reasons.
No, that's really dope too, because when you're making hip hop, it's fun. It's like you're cutting up stuff, you're taking samples, but this is really something that you made. You created this music, you made this. These are your relationships, it's your artwork. Even up to right now, I see that you've been dabbling with like the NFTs with Static and doing stuff. Talk about that space. Is that fun? Is that cool? Like, what do you?
Just the NFT space in particular?
Yeah, is it interesting?
It's interesting. It's got its ups and downs. I mean, we sold our first one, and that was, Static was like, yo, we gotta do this, and I'm like, I wasn't hip to it like off the bat, and I was like
early,
doing something else. He's like, we gotta do it like this week, and he was right.
We know Static. We know Static. Like, we came up with him. Of course, I know Pat. He's going for it. You know what I mean? Like, he's up until 4 o'clock in the morning doing it. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's the hungriest and the hardest working. Shout out to Static Selector.
He's the hardest working person, and that's motivational to me, because like, I'm around him all the time, and you can't be a bum and be around him. Like, you're just like, yo, you did these 14 things this week. All right, I gotta, like, make sure I do something other in term too. Like, I got Static in term, like, I'm around them like all the time. So their energy, it's like, you can't be around them doing nothing. You know what I mean? So,
they're
like,
always cooking something up. Always. That's what they do.
Always. So if you are lazy for too long, like, you're just gonna be left in the dust. So I mean, and I can't even keep up with them, but it gives me a lot of motivation and inspiration to be like, all right, what I gotta make something happen right now. That's because like, man. I gotta be like, I gotta rock with these guys.
I love it though, man. They've done a lot, man. And you're a guy that's a Connecticut guy, New England guy, transplanted to New York City. You guys are opening back up pretty soon, which is, the city has been like the moment in Vanilla Sky when Tom Cruise is walking down the street and shit. It's like different, but you're gonna be back out there. Are you excited? Are you apprehensive?
I'm excited, man. Like, for the people that stayed in New York last summer, the city was amazing last summer. You still had to be, we were cautious, and I'm still cautious, and I'll still wear my mask inside, and if I'm in a congested area, but like, the city was popping last summer with the outdoor dining and the people out riding bikes, and it was it was a good vibe. But like this summer now with like everybody getting the vaccinations and I'm actually surprised they're opening up so soon, but now they're like, everything's going to be back open. I'm like, all right, well, it's crazy because after
Saturday out here, they're going 100% back, everything.
Oh, yeah.
Minneapolis
off
wide
the
open.
mask, like wide open. Let's go.
Dog. We went out, me and David, my buddy D-Mail, went out last weekend, and usually this like little area that's like open, whatever. All the streets are shut down, but every party had a line around the building. We've been doing parties out here for 10 years, 15 years. I didn't recognize anybody. It was all new people, all younger people. It's going to be a very interesting summer nationwide, man.
It's crazy, especially if you consider how like dismal this past winter was, like with COVID and just regular winter stuff. You know, we're inside all day. Like, man, this sucks. And all of a sudden they're like 90-degree weather and everything's completely back open again. People are like, word, all right,
I'm ready.
We out. Yeah.
Let's go, baby. Ready. Let's go, man. So, that's really, really cool, man. Recently we seen this guy, you know, speaking of like this kind of like lane that you're creating in, I seen this like new Mac Homie album that came out and everybody's going crazy about it. I seen fucking Drake's posting. I seen Wiz Khalifa posing with him. It's interesting now to see some of these artists start to peak up, and when the LeBron Jameses and the Drake start to reach down to this pocket to get cool, to stay cool, because when a guy's 20 years in the game and he's standing next to Mac Homie, you're like, oh, this guy's on fire right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, how do you feel? Do you see a crossover coming a little bit with this stuff?
Well, yeah, I mean, I know for I mean, I would say, you know, like Griselda and you know, West Side Gun, basically, like he spearheaded this movement that, you know, made grimy hip hop like cool to like again, even though like we've been in it and we've been making it, and we never left. But you know, as far as like mainstream goes, because you know, think about it, like back when we were like young, like early 90s, like the radio was playing like The Chronic and Snoop Dogg, like it was spoon fed to the masses, and then you know, people are like, what happened to hip hop? It's because it's not being spoon fed to you anymore, so you think it doesn't exist. But we've been here. But you know, West Side Gun, you know, really, I gotta give him, you know, super props and credit.
They
for
made
what
it
did.
cool,
like, people
man.
like,
They made it really
like,
cool.
It's cool now. Like I'm in the know now. If I post this and I look like I'm on some like stuff that people, you know, ain't up on.
Oh, but, dude, I know. 3 years ago, I was grabbing people in parties and being like, "Come out to the car. I have to play something for you." I grabbed my man T. LaShawn at a Wu-Tang Wednesday in Minneapolis, and I was like, "Come here for a second." I took him to the car and I played him "Shower Shoe Lords" off of Fly God album, and I remember seeing his face like this with the Benny verse, and then a month later he had the red joint with the crying eyes, and I'm like, there you go.
Yeah. So people need to be put on again, and you know, I think it's dope because, you know, it's good to have people like artists that have credibility, like reaching down and elevating those artists. You know, at a certain point, hopefully it doesn't, you know, make it too corny where like, you know, Drake, people are like, not to diss Drake, I think he's I respect Drake, but you know, they have people that like aren't in the movement all of a sudden.
Did you see the Russ, the Russ Boom Bap album? Did you see that? The one that Russ put out?
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
He can rap. He can rap. The record with Crooked Eye where he's like rapping with, I was like, okay. Like,
I'm friends with his manager.
Not mad at that, though.
No, look, there's a good story behind this.
If you do it with respect and you do it the right way, like, please.
These dudes did it right. They went, and his managers from Canada, we have mutual friends, and we you know, I know these guys lightly, and he told me, he was like, they went out of their way to every one of those legends and gave them the full ticket, their full bag that they wanted for their verses. So all the verses were really good, and it was really out of respect and the publishing and everything. It was a strong move from like a crossover pop artist. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty
that's
cool.
Dope. That's dope. And, you know, like, props to Russ for, you know, he's like, he's like, I'm a hip hop head and I want to show the world, not only that I'm a hip hop head, but like I got talent in this too. And as long as you treat it with the respect it deserves, then I think that, like, you know, a true hip hop fan is gonna be like, all right, I'll give you, you know, I love it. If you're on point with it,
yeah, man,
like, let's do it.
So how long do we have to wait for the Hardcore Composer Part 2? What do you think? How long we waiting, bro?
I don't know, man. Like with you know, producer albums, you know, it's not like working with one artist where you're just like, let's go in the lab and make like a bunch of records today. It's like you gotta like individually like reach out,
You gotta
reel
go
them
get
in,
them. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I couldn't really speculate. I definitely want some music out this summer. You know what I mean? I would love to, because I put my album out in October and it was still pretty locked down. I would love to have something out during while it's still warm out, but
Sure.
but we'll see. But I'm actually, I'm working on another project too that I can't talk about because it's not.
Man, you can't talk about a lot of stuff.
Because it's real hip hop, Tito. You know, that's what it is. That's why.
I'm that type of guy, though. Yeah, I'm that type of guy. Like
rules. Yeah.
But the thing is, when you talk about it, sometimes you jinx it. And the last thing I want to do is talk
about
something that.
Right.
But But so depending on what happens with that. But I'm about to go like super full throttle with the Hardcore Composer 2, and I want to like keep the same level of intensity, and I don't want to be. I'm not going to compromise at all as far as how hard I want to make, because like I feel like that's I respond so much to like hardcore hip hop, and I'm like I gotta make it like that. But I also I want to make like R&B records too. Like I feel like I got different types of sounds and
someone
even
played
like
a party
rock records.
Yeah.
Even
Like
rock records. Like I want to show my diversity as a producer, but still keep it like real hip hop, hardcore hip hop.
Oh, bro. Okay. All right. Man. I didn't even know with the rock album too. All right. I've been listening to a lot of rock lately. I have been. Yeah.
The thing is, I'm not even like I'm more into like classic rock, like psychedelic rock. Like if I listen to hip hop like 99% of the time, but when I'm not, I usually listen to like psychedelic rock, and like The Doors is like one of my favorite groups of all time, and like I'm definitely influenced by a lot of those records, and I'm like I see a connection with this music, and I don't see why you couldn't have like a people have done like rock and hip hop hybrids before, and some have worked better than others, but I definitely feel like there's a way that I could sort of like bridge those worlds together. And that's
I hear that on the intro to the album though. When you listen to Hardcore Composer, the beginning with the trippy sounds, that's like a Doors. I get the Doors shit now. I see it.
I grew up on the Doors. My father played the Doors. That's all my father.
Of course.
My father listened to all that
rock,
stuff.
Man. All that shit.
That's how I got into it. Is because my dad wasn't like but we had the Doors tapes in the car and some other psychedelic stuff, and that like that's why it resonated with me like as a kid, and I always like brought that with me. But like as far as the intro of the album, like do you know what that person's voice is?
No, I don't.
You already said it.
Is it the Doors?
It's
chopped and screwed, like it's like a effect on it and shit. Because I'm like, he did something, so we can't tell what this is, but it sounds like something. I was listening to it. Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, I don't know if you should cut that out.
No, edit this. We beeped it. My man beeped the shit anyway. But like when you put something like this together, right? So you're crafting this with like sounds, but then there's like big pun on there and little voices and things like that. Do you have to clear those little samples? And beep right there too. Like, hold on, no.
Okay, I mean, listen. If one of my records goes platinum, I'd probably have to do something with it. I mean, as far as like
they're not chasing
underground hip hop,
right?
Yeah.
It's underground hip hop. I mean, if I have a record with a major label artist, I'm probably not. Who knows? Maybe I'd probably take the steps to if I was planning on making it a single. But as far as like trying to make like real like quote unquote real hip hop, just staying true to the stuff that resonated with me, and trying to move forward with that type of mentality. It's like, I need a little flavor, a little bit of seasoning. Like,
ooh, sounds good.
That's the only time I really feel like I want to use samples. Like, I'm not saying I'd never use samples again, because maybe it's like a little flavor, a little seasoning, because even with some of the artwork I do, like you want to add like little pieces in there that create a certain vibe, but not necessarily like have those things steal the show. But
recognizable brands and sounds and things that connect with people, and it's like,
so what vibe we're on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's like a connecting pieces, and I noticed that they were really sprinkled through the project, not over and the DJing. There's a point where there's like turntablism and the scratching. Is that something that you really wanted to incorporate too?
Yeah, I mean, wherever it makes sense, you know what I mean. That was my man DJ Architect that did the scratches on
turntablism.
On Who's the Wisest, and he's super nice, and I'm really appreciative that he contributed to the project. But like I don't rap or I don't DJ. I know how to use Serato, but I'm not like, my best friends are DJs, like, shout
Good
out to
DJs.
Static and Evil D and them, like,
Yeah.
they're the illest, right? They're the illest. So I'm like, I can, if anything, I'll see if they, they want to add some flavor to it. But yeah, like, wherever it makes sense. Like I feel like I'm an artist, visual and audio artist. So anytime I can sort of like, elevate the artistry, whether it's through, the album cover or the, scratches or this, that, and the third, like I'm really trying to just make something that hopefully resonates with people and that they can appreciate.
Well done, sir. Congratulations. We're looking out for the next one. And
yes, sir.
very, very dope. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to reach out to you too. We got some things going on. I'm working on a little thing, and I would definitely want to talk to you about some artwork because, dude, you got a good little eye for the shit, man. Very cool.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for having me. I had a great time today.
Come on, man. Yo, round Dom Dirtee, ladies and gentlemen, the hardcore composer.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Yo, thank you so much.
My guy, that is the man right there, Dom Dirtee. Super cool project. When I called you earlier, I heard you listening to it. This shit bangs, bro.
Yeah, man. I really like that Paul Wall Millie's record. It's a dope record.
Yeah. And people like Illa G, kind of like some of these like older New York guys and the younger guys. Well done, man. Well done. Tito, how you feeling, G? You good?
I'm good, man. How about yourself? You everything good? How you living?
I hurt my back. I was like, I went out and started playing basketball last week. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back out there, work out 4 or 5 days. I'm feeling great. I'm listening to the J. Cole album, feeling like I'm about to play in like Rwanda. I'm feel great, right? And then I did like 5 out of 7 days I was out there playing on the concrete, and I started to try to do like lefty layups, and I was like jumping off my right foot. I feel like I need to get my entire right side of my body realigned. I woke up to a hot pack this morning on my back.
Bro, we're getting old, man. Let me tell you something. I got suckered in. I'm now coaching Declan's baseball team.
Oh, kid, we could coach Tito.
So, assistant coach, not like full just like first base and like,
less responsibilities.
Help out at practice and stuff.
Right.
We're doing the soft toss for the like it would do soft toss. You throw the ball up and the kid hits it into the fence. Just trying to like get the kids in contact.
Fundamentals.
Right? Bent down, pull the hamstring.
Oh, you lit your whole body up.
Lit it whole up. So then I go out and I start throwing batting practice for Declan.
This whole shit.
My arm is done. My arm is done. I hit Declan twice. I get it.
He's maimed. The kid he's good, but it's never gonna happen.
So mad at me. Like,
no more, Dad.
Yeah, he's like, is someone else pitch? Like
that's so you want to get out there. Like,
But then I just stood in the outfield until the first baseman had to play first base.
Oh, that's so funny, bro. You're hilarious.
But yeah, it was good. He's out. He's probably going to be pitching next week. They have 5 games in a row. Oh. So he's got to be able to pitch one of these games. So
that is hilarious, dog. Oh my God. I know I definitely blew my whole hip out, and I'll be all right, but it's gonna take me 2-3 days.
I just gotta get more active,
It's all right though. Look, incentive though to run around with the kids again. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So we're good though. I'm over here been watching a lot of NBA basketball. The best thing I did in the beginning of the pandemic when this season started, I got the league pass for the first time ever. I've never got league pass before. I always bullshitted because I worked at nights too. Like if you work like 7 to 12, you can't watch games.
Yeah,
so
there's no way.
I got it. And I watch everything. The replays are great the next day. You can watch all the different, like you can watch locally here, locally there, TNT, whatever. And
so I said I want to ask you something because let's get back on this. We talked about it last episode a little bit, but
the flopping,
yes,
it's out of control. It's out of control.
I sent you
a lot of people. I know.
I sent you that video. I want to know what your thoughts.
They are okay when you see Kevin Durant come flying in and land on his arm like that, and I would have definitely broken my collarbone completely and pop up and do the little thing. Well, LeBron gets like brushed in the face lightly. He's 260 pounds. I've stood near LeBron, probably, I would say, 10, 12 feet away from LeBron James. That is a mountain of a man. That is not, his back is he's huge. He's huge. This right here is not gonna have you on the ground crying. I'm sorry. Like he It's part of the game now. It's like a chess game. The NBA is more finesse. It is not a physical game. Before, you had to punch somebody in the face to get a technical. Jason Tatum bounces the ball off the ground and gets a technical. They do not
Jason
want...
Tatum, by the way, got poked in the eye last night.
He kept playing.
No, he was out. He was out of the game. He didn't come back. Did he come back in?
I was bullshitting you. I don't know what's going on. I watched a lot of it, but I was looking at my phone as well. Yeah. But I think the Celtics are probably not going to go that far in the playoffs against.
They got smoked last night. Smoked.
I think they're pretty much a wrap. You know what I mean?
Well, I think when Jaylen Brown was done for the season, I think that was pretty much sign the book.
I like Fournier though, the little with the hairline. He's like scrappy.
Ooh, Fournier for
I like Fournier for Celtics. I like him. I like this little scrappy little Pritchard. Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard.
He's gonna be the next point guard. I like
him.
That's my. I think Kemba's gonna be gone.
I think Kemba's leaving.
I think Kemba's see you later, and I think that they're gonna use him to get somebody a big, and I think Peyton Pritchard and Marcus. Smart. Smart's going to be the.
So Smart backs up. Pritchard backs up Smart moving forward, and Kemba goes, and we use that as leverage to get something else because we really have 2 all-stars, and you can't have 3 shooters like that. You only have really.
We need a big.
Yeah. Because sharing the ball between Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker is difficult because Kemba got to get his shots up. You know what I mean? Like
he's a shooter the way he plays. I think.
Yeah, I get it. I like him a lot though.
And I think they need. I think the homie Time Lord needs somebody to come in and kind of, guide them into how to play the game. I'd love to see somebody. I want a Boogie, man. I want a Boogie to come here.
I know. He's been good. He's been a good fit too. We'll see though. Somebody. NBA playoffs are gonna be great though. I'm excited. A lot of games on. I watched a bunch of shit already, and I was watching the replay of the Dallas game before this. So also, what you got to check out, ABC has this documentary they just put out on Mike Tyson. Have you seen this little preview on this?
I saw the preview. I'm ready. I'm all in.
Crazy. I just watched like the first 25 minutes of it, and it's really, really, really good. It's all this old footage from like the early 80s and late 70s and stuff, and Mike's childhood and shit like that. It's fucking crazy. It's really good.
Did they tell you how he got the lisp, or is that just like from
I think it's just part of it. You know what I mean? It's just part of it. It's just how you're born, I guess. Sometimes some people have an overbite. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it just happens. But it's pretty fucking crazy story. So check that out when you get a chance. Shout to Wise P and Yogi. They were on the last episode. Shout to Danny Boy. Shout to my man Andre. We got some more bonus episodes coming up. Check out the Mr. Peter Parker podcast right now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Blood Clot My Youth. We out here. That's it, right?
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, do all that shit.
That's it, man. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go.
Have a great day.